From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Breaking news right now, Oklahoma City police are investigating a drive-by shooting. It happened just a couple of hours ago around 8 o'clock near Northeast 20th and Coltrane. Police tell Fox 25 the shooter was in a black SUV and left the scene going towards Coltrane. We're working to find out how the victim is doing. And more breaking news, OSBI is investigating an officer-involved shooting in Northwest Oklahoma. It happened near the town of Fargo this afternoon. We just checked with the Ellis County Sheriff's Office and in the last 30 minutes, and they say the situation is still an active one. Fox 25 is working to get more details, and we will provide you updates as they become available. Still more breaking news to get to. A 3.8 magnitude earthquake hits the Noble County area in just the last couple of hours. This is live video, or a live look rather, at the USGS website right now. So far, we haven't heard any reports of damage, but if you felt any shaking, let us know what happened, how you felt. Send us a message on OKC Fox on our Facebook page. For the first time, an American priest is beatified. Blessed Stanley Rother is not just an American, he is an Oklahoman. Fox 25's Jennifer Falsetti was downtown in Oklahoma City where the beatification happened this morning and has his incredible story.
Things are quiet here now, but earlier over 20,000 people came to see history in the making. Now an Oklahoma-born priest is one step closer to becoming a saint. A ceremony of historic significance for the Catholic Church and for Oklahoma. For the first time, an American priest is beatified. That priest was born here in Okarche, Oklahoma in 1935. Father Stanley Francis Rother, now known as Blessed Stanley Francis Rother, is one step closer to becoming a saint.
It's quite an extraordinary event. It's an historic event, and the significance of which goes well beyond Oklahoma, that we're very proud that he's from Oklahoma. But this is an equally important day in Guatemala.
Seeking justice in the midst of a protracted civil war, the church says Father Rother fought courageously for the well-being of his people in combating a culture that was excessively hostile to the Catholic Church. But he was murdered in July of 1981, his death shocking the Catholic community.
He was a very ordinary man. He was raised on an Oklahoma farm and devout Catholic family, hardworking, generous, courageous, knew how to overcome obstacles and difficulties that came his way.
Saturday, more than 20,000 people gathered in downtown Oklahoma City to honor Oklahoma priest, missionary, and martyr. One of those was Rother's sister, who says even if a miracle never comes to prove his sainthood, she will still be proud.
Even if this is the end of it, as far as that, he's a saint to the rest of us.
What's next? The Catholic Church will have to prove a miracle. Then, if they can prove that, Rother would become a saint. Reporting in downtown Oklahoma City, Jennifer Falsetti, Fox 25 News.
Fox 25 meteorologist Marcy Novak has your back with tonight's first forecast. Ladies in red, how about that?
We are matching. We did not plan this, I promise. We're just on the same wavelength today.
Exactly, and we are both hoping for some good weather for the last day of the fair.
Hey, it's looking great tomorrow. Going to be a little bit hot out there, but you know it's been hot for pretty much the entire fair, so we aren't going to see any rain. It's going to be dry with a high in the mid to upper 80s, partly cloudy skies throughout the day tomorrow, so get outside for that last day of the fair tomorrow before rain moves in early in the week. So we do have rain chances in western Oklahoma by late tomorrow, and this is going to be mainly for the panhandle, but a few of these showers may move into Alva, Watauga, and Lawton. We do stay dry in Oklahoma City. We've got your back though, and a strong cold front is on the way. I'll tell you the latest timing on when we could see some high rain chances and how cool it's going to get. Get ready to bust out the jacket. I'll tell you what day will be the coolest coming up in your storm watch forecast.
New tonight.
Man, I don't know where to start. I got a lot of feelings, but I don't know if I can say it all. But I want to start with thanking you guys. Thanking you. Shout out to Sam Presti, my teammates, my stash bro Steven Adams, my team members, trainers, the crazy events, the whole state. Because when I lost, I'm thanking you guys, when I lost my family and when I lost home, you guys gave me family and you guys gave me home. So that's why Oklahoma and this organization, the whole state, will be always in my heart.
Guys, that made me tear up a little bit. That was Enes Kanter thanking Oklahoma today after being traded to the New York Knicks. That's right, Carmelo Anthony is headed to the Thunder. Today, the Thunder traded Kanter, Doug McDermott, plus a 2018 draft pick for Anthony. And just a couple of hours after that announcement, Enes Kanter held a basketball camp in Edmond, and you can see him right here helping out Metro kids, teaching them the basics of basketball skills. And OKC is saying goodbye to Kanter too. Take a look at this video. The Oklahoma City Mayor, Mick Cornett, was at that camp. He tweeted this afternoon, "I just told Enes how much OKC loved him. Great impact on our community. #ThunderUp." We'll have much more on the big Thunder trade coming up in sports in about 45 minutes, and you'll hear what Kanter has to say about the Golden State Warriors. New developments tonight as President Trump calls out NFL players who passively protest during the national anthem.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, "Get that son of a off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired."
That happened last night during a rally for Senate candidate Luther Strange in Alabama. And just a few hours ago, President Trump tweeted this, saying, if a player wants the privilege of making millions of dollars in the NFL or other leagues, he or she should not be allowed to disrespect our great American flag or country and should stand for the national anthem. If not, you're fired. Find something else to do. Last year, Colin Kaepernick drew national attention for refusing to stand for the Star-Spangled Banner, and many other players have followed suit. Now the NFL is responding to Trump's comments. Commissioner Roger Goodell said today the NFL and our players are at our best when we help create a sense of unity and in our country and our culture. He also called Trump's comment a failure to understand an overwhelming force for good our clubs and our players represent in our communities. Right now, more people here in the metro are trained in what to do if they see a hate crime happening. The Council on American Islamic Relations held a bystander intervention training event today. They ran through several scenarios that will help in many circumstances, from racial slurs to sexual abuse. The people who attended learned how to step in and not escalate the situation. The Oklahoma chapter of CARE says during the presidential election year, it saw the biggest increase in reports when it came to hate crimes and vandalism, as well as FBI-related complaints. New tonight, we're learning more about Governor Mary Fallon's goals for a special session that starts on Monday. In a statement released, the governor said that the session should, quote, be a matter of taking care of unfinished business. The session is necessary to look at the state's budget shortfall of $215 million. Fallon did say that she is ready to veto any proposal that further cuts funding to state agencies. She said, our legislators must work to make more recurring revenue available, stop balancing our budget with one-time funds, and come up with a teacher pay raise. Fox 25 has your back, and we will be at the Capitol when that special session starts Monday afternoon to bring you updates as they become available. Now on to a developing story. The GOP's latest attempt to pass a health care bill appears to be on life support, but Republicans are not giving up just yet. We've got your back with the latest from Washington. Here is Fox News correspondent Ellison Barber.
Last week, a spokesperson for Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told Fox News McConnell intended to consider the Graham-Cassidy bill on the floor this week, but that was before Senator John McCain said he wouldn't be supporting the Graham-Cassidy bill. Here's HHS Secretary Tom Price.
The promise of the majority in Congress, in the House and the Senate, was to repeal and replace. The reason it's not dead is because it's not finished. The bill hasn't been completed. We continue to work with the authors on it through this weekend, and the bill will be likely rolled out early next week.
Republicans can't afford to lose more than 2 Republicans, and McCain is the second to publicly say he will not support this bill. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is not on board, and Maine Senator Susan Collins is very much on the fence. The White House is trying to get her off of it.
This is our last best chance before the September 30th deadline to get this bill done. It comes down to 4 senators, as you mentioned. Right now, Senator Paul, Senator McCain, Senator Murkowski, and Senator Collins are the ones that we're trying to convince to get 2 of the final 4 votes in order to repeal Obamacare.
We haven't written off any vote. In fact, we haven't written off any votes on the other side as well.
Democrats are praising Senator McCain. Some say it's yet another moment of courage for a man who spent decades in the Navy and years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam.
Thank you, John McCain. And John McCain has a conscience, and I wish very much that the rest of the Republican leadership had that conscience as well.
Republicans hoped to pass health care legislation by the end of September, in part because with special budget rules, they could pass the bill with a simple majority, 50 yeses instead of 60. In Washington, I'm Ellison Barber, Fox News.
Back here at home, a $7 million health campus will soon be finished in Oklahoma City's South Side. Today, the Oklahoma County Health Department reaching out to those who live in the area. They say that the goal is to continue the fight against health disparities in the metro. A park in the Southern Oaks community turned into a party with a side of education Saturday afternoon. This Fiesta de Regreso a Clases, or back to school party, was originally planned for August, but it got rained out. No big deal, because today 500 people made their way to the event, including little Genesis. She was too shy to get very chatty, but wanted to tell us that she liked seeing the bus at the party. The event included giveaways, not just treats. There were good-for-you foods like free, fresh produce from the regional food bank.
The best kind of meal is a home-cooked meal. It's more nutritious. So we wanted to provide them with the produce in order to eat healthy.
This event was also a way to let the community know about the services the $7 million complex will provide.
There was an energy in the air. People are really excited about the new campus and getting active.
If you ask these kids, it's easy to stay active if inflatable castles are involved. The Oklahoma County Health Department says that the Southern Oaks Learning and Wellness Center will be open in 10 months. Happening tomorrow, a rally and vigil happening to honor the deaf man who was shot and killed by Oklahoma City police. Magdiel Sanchez died on Tuesday night after officers were responding to a hit and run. Witnesses say that several people tried to tell the officers that Sanchez was deaf, but they shot him anyway. Sergeant Barnes is currently on paid administrative leave. The rally tomorrow starts at 1 at City Hall near Couch and Walker. Organizers say that it is a peaceful march and no weapons will be allowed and no one can cover their face. In Mexico, another massive earthquake hits 4 days after that devastating quake that killed hundreds of people. Today's aftershock, a 6.2 magnitude quake. It was centered in southern Mexico near the Pacific coast, but it forced rescue workers to suspend their efforts in Mexico City, nearly 300 miles away. Mexico City did not sustain any more significant damage in today's quake, according to Mexican officials. More than 300 people died when dozens of buildings were collapsed in Tuesday's 7.1 magnitude quake. Right now, a dam in Puerto Rico that has been in danger of breaking is still holding on for now, but people who live near that area are told to get out as soon as possible. The National Weather Service said last night that the dam could break at any moment. About 70,000 people in the area were told to leave for higher ground. Puerto Rico is still reeling from Hurricane Maria that dumped heavy rain and caused widespread flash flooding. We've got your back tonight with a reminder that you only have 1 day left to visit the fair. Here's a live look at the fair tonight. You can still see all those lovely lights. The closing ceremony tomorrow will be at 6 o'clock, and there'll be lots of fun events, entertainment, and of course all that very delicious, very fried fair food that you can eat. Again, that starts at 6 and the fair officially closes at 9:30. It's a disease millions of families are facing every single day. Coming up, we introduce you to a pair of brothers advancing the fight against Alzheimer's right here in Oklahoma. In health news tonight, the Trump administration is taking fire for its plans to shut down the Obamacare website during parts of the enrollment season. Officials say the site will be closed for 12 hours on all but one Sunday during the enrollment. Healthcare.gov will also be offline for the first day of open enrollment, November 1st. The administration says that the shutdowns are part of a regular maintenance schedule. The open enrollment season lasts from November 1st to December 15th. Parents in Guthrie are noticing more head lice in students in schools. One parent says her child hasn't been able to get rid of lice since February, except for over summer break. She says that she's heard of other parents with a similar problem. She also says that she would like more to be done at Guthrie Junior High School, where her daughter attends.
I think that the school nurse should come in and, do head checks. And if somebody says that they do have head lice, that's when she should come in, do the checks, and send notes home to, alert the parents that there is a problem going on.
The district superintendent told Fox 25 that the school principal and nurse have not had any reports of this, but he says that there is a plan in place to work with local health departments if there is an outbreak. In the battle against Alzheimer's, few people have done as much for the cause as two Tulsa natives, Bill and Bob Thomas. The brothers have tirelessly worked on state and federal levels to raise awareness and get critical funding to fight this disease. Britt Mumolo from our sister station KTUL in Tulsa reports on the determination of the Thomas brothers.
It's called the Walk to End Alzheimer's. And out of the thousands of people who will participate this weekend,
we have a great deal of optimism.
Few people have taken that mission more to heart.
We can change this.
Than Bob and Bill Thomas, specialists in the world of retirement communities with several independent living establishments like Burgundy Place, and mavericks in the world of Alzheimer's activism.
We believe we can change the course of Alzheimer's disease, and I think we're doing it.
And that's not just a feel-good phrase. Over the past 20 years, Bill and Bob have been intensely involved in the Alzheimer's Association, raising both awareness and funds.
As employees, we raise almost $600,000, or we believe we will raise $600,000 for the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
And that's just this year with their company, Senior Star. On a national level, after serving on the Alzheimer's board, Bob dove into politics and played a key role in getting decision makers to spend more money on Alzheimer's research.
And what we've seen there is an impact from the mid $450 million range 6 years ago to close to $1.4 billion in funding today.
Why do all this? Sure, like most families, they've had a personal brush with the disease.
For us, our first connection when we were teenagers, and my grandmother had Alzheimer's.
But beyond that, they've simply been moved by the toll that's been taken on some of their residents and families at any one of their 14 retirement communities located in 6 states.
All of us have seen the personal side of Alzheimer's and really just what an insidious disease it is. It is interesting that of the 10 major diseases that exist in this world, that Alzheimer's is the only one that has neither a treatment nor prevention nor a cure.
This is where most people would look at something as big as Alzheimer's and make it someone else's problem. Not Bill and Bob. Bob currently serves on the board of the Alzheimer's Impact Movement, and Bill is currently a candidate for the board of the National Alzheimer's Association. And to be even more involved,
we are so committed to this cause that we have a full-time employee that dedicates at least 50% of her time to the Alzheimer's cause, keeping us very engaged.
Two brothers whose names you probably didn't know as vanguards in the war against a memory-stealing monster.
We're believers that if you get committed, you come together, you create a vision around something, you can make a difference. We all believe now we're changing the world.
Two brothers whose names will never be forgotten once the tragedy of an Alzheimer's diagnosis has been.
We really can make this happen, and we will make this happen.
That was Britt Mumolo reporting.
Temperatures tomorrow heating back up. It's going to feel a lot like summer again for your Sunday. We'll start out in the low 70s, already warm and humid when you step outside tomorrow morning. 82 around noon. Our high tomorrow, 87 degrees. It's going to be windy again tomorrow too. And there is a chance that we see some rain in parts of western Oklahoma tomorrow. We all have a chance of seeing rain though as we head into early next week. We've got you back with when that strong cold front arrives coming up in your Storm Watch forecast.
A brand new warning from North Korea tonight, why U.S. intelligence officials are now looking for signs of a hydrogen bomb test and how far that test could travel. Plus, more protests tonight in St. Louis after an officer is acquitted of murder. We'll show you what happened when hundreds of people flooded a popular mall just a few hours ago. A mother who battled depression has found happiness in simple acts of kindness, as Circa's Stephanie Abrams tells us that she is now sharing these ideas with the world.
So there's one for you.
This family's giving away compliments as part of a project to promote simple acts of kindness.
Like sunshine on a cloudy day.
Meet Audrey Graziano, the founder of Happy Orange Project and quite possibly the happiest mom in America.
I won't change my life.
But she wasn't always like this.
Little things would make me angry, you know? It's easy to go dark.
She fell into a deep depression after she lost her house and then her father.
It started to affect my relationships with my husband and my kids, and I was just grumpy all the time, and I'm probably not the most fun person to be around.
Until a moment of kindness with a complete stranger changed her.
If people could just see how easy it really is to make a choice from being a complete jerk to being a kind, giving person, it really does give back. It makes you feel better. It doesn't make sense that it should be that way, but when you give back, you actually feel better.
She began to start each day thinking up ways to be kind.
Donate stuffed animals to a children's.
I can do that.
Then shared her kindness tips to a wider audience through social media, and soon it evolved into much bigger happy projects like collecting these hand-knit baby hats donated from hundreds of people around the world.
My greatest accomplishment is being an example to my children.
Don't be like all mad and grumpy all the time. So it's like be happy every day. That's what she's teaching everybody.
For Circa, I'm Stephanie Abrams.
Coming up, a huge benefit for Hurricane Harvey victims, and some big names in country music are helping out. And we'll show you the highlights. Plus, we've got your back with an easy way you can help as people in Houston try to get back to normal.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Breaking news right now. In the last 30 minutes, a person is hit by a car in northwest Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City police tell Fox 25 that the person hit is alive, but we do not know their condition. They do say the driver involved took off in a blue pickup truck. We are working to gather more information, and we will update you as we learn more. New tonight, an Oklahoma man is on trial for a second time charged with killing his son-in-law. A mistrial was declared for Terry Drury last year on murder charges. Court records show last April, Drury walked into the Jackson County Sheriff's Office with a gun and admitted to killing his son-in-law, but the jury in the first trial was split because Drury gave two conflicting stories about what happened, and the evidence supported neither. New details tonight about an overnight house fire. Firefighters say that they still don't know what caused it. It happened near Southwest 36th and Blackwelder around 2 this morning. Oklahoma City firefighters tell Fox 25 when they showed up, they saw smoke coming from the garage. Nobody was inside. Fire investigators say it appears that it began in the attic, but they are still investigating. Now to a developing story overseas. The U.S. Air Force made a show of force east of North Korea early this morning. The Pentagon says that these U.S. bombers flew in international airspace east of the rogue nation. According to the statement, planes were escorted by fighter jets. No other U.S. fighter or bomber has flown that far north of the Korean demilitarized zone in the century. The Pentagon says the mission sent a message to North Korea that the U.S. has military options on the table and is ready to use them. Tensions between the two nations have been growing over North Korea's missiles and recent nuclear tests. Now North Korea is threatening to test a hydrogen bomb over the Pacific Ocean. North Korea's foreign minister is suggesting that the regime may launch a potential devastation.
I think this could probably mean the strongest ever hydrogen bomb test on or above the Pacific Ocean.
What you're looking at is, from a radioactive standpoint, is large areas of East Asia, the Western Pacific, all the way potentially to the west coast of the United States being blanketed by radiation.
The U.S. intelligence community will now watch for very particular signs. This all comes after a warning from President Trump at the UN to totally destroy North Korea if the U.S. is forced to defend itself or its allies. At the UN, President Trump was asked if dialogue was still possible with Pyongyang. His response, why not? More protests in St. Louis today after a week after a white police officer was acquitted in the shooting death of a black man. This is the scene inside a suburban mall early Saturday this afternoon, the St. Louis Galleria. Police issued dispersal orders once they determined that there was destructive actions inside the mall. St. Louis County Police say 150 people followed those orders, but many did not. 22 people were arrested. Police say those charges range from trespassing, rioting, assaulting officers, and disorderly conduct. New tonight, some country music greats took to the stage to raise money last night for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. Legendary singer Willie Nelson as well as Lyle Lovett performed in Austin. They were joined by other celebrities who took time out to help victims of the hurricane. Politicians, actors, and musicians all came together to raise money for relief efforts. Money made from the live concert will benefit the Rebuild Texas Fund. We want to remind you Fox 25 is joining forces with an urban farmhouse and two fellas in a big moving vehicle to help victims of Hurricane Harvey. And we need your help for this operation, storm relief. We're looking for donations of household cleaning supplies, box fans, bug spray, and furniture. To donate, head over to Urban Farmhouse Designs on Western Avenue. Fox 25 meteorologist Marcy Novak has your back with tonight's forecast, and you got some good news for our fall lovers.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm kind of over the summer-like temperatures. It is going to be chilly, maybe even heading into this next work week. Another hot day tomorrow, but then we'll see that cold front arriving by Monday into Tuesday. For tonight, though, temperatures will be falling to near 70 degrees. Partly cloudy, mild, a little bit humid out there with a light breeze from the south at about 5 to 15 miles an hour. So starting out near 70 tomorrow, we'll make it to 87 tomorrow afternoon. So pretty much exactly where we were today. A hot and dry day in Oklahoma City with partly cloudy skies. We're back in the low 80s by 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Rain chances for your Sunday, yeah, they are low to moderate for western Oklahoma. A higher chance there in the Oklahoma Panhandle. We won't see any rain for the last day of the fair. That rain will stay well west of Oklahoma City, but higher chances coming. Here we go. Monday between 5 a.m. and noon, that cold front begins to move into northwest Oklahoma. So we'll see a high chance for rain there, only a low chance Monday morning. In Oklahoma City, slightly higher chances Monday afternoon and evening. That front is very slow to move across the state. I don't think it really makes a big impact until Tuesday. That's when our storm chances will be the highest. Now, we're not going to see any severe weather, but we could see some heavy rain, maybe a couple of inches of rain with this system because it's going to be moving across the state very slowly. So expect to see rain pretty much all day for your Tuesday. For tomorrow, rain stays well west of Oklahoma City. It's going to be a little breezy tomorrow afternoon. And then by Monday morning, that rain will continue for parts of west and northwest Oklahoma. I'm really expecting most of the day in Oklahoma City to be dry on Monday, and then those chances will ramp ramp up by Tuesday. Look at this temperature drop though, 84 Monday to 73 Tuesday, and we will stay in the 60s with a 40% chance for rain on Wednesday. So it is going to be much cooler for the middle part of the week. Those low rain chances will linger for Thursday into Friday. Those high temperatures that looks a lot more like fall will be in the low to mid 70s through next weekend with overnight lows in the 50s.
Coming up, Starbucks tweets, pretty pleased with fall on top to introduce its new seasonal drink. We'll tell you about their new concoction to help you warm up as that weather finally cools down.
This week on Full Measure, we go to a dangerous and exotic place where Islamic terrorists are shifting to a new battlefield. We report from Zamboanga in the Philippines, where kidnappings and beheadings are part of a growing risk for foreigners and locals. It's also the region where a 3-month battle with Islamic insurgents this summer killed over 700 people. We ride along with a commando unit that's working to free hostages in an area so dangerous it's under martial law. Our Scott Thuman reports from Rome, Italy, in a city that's seen its share of raiders and invaders over history, to find that in this war on terror, it has so far remained remarkably free of terrorist attacks like the recent ones in Britain, France, and Belgium. We discover there are several interesting reasons why. So we're pretty excited about a show once again that we've gone around the world to cover for you, stories you won't see anywhere else this Sunday on Full Measure.
Hello, I'm Mark Hyman. The law requires every federal employee take an oath of office to support the Constitution. Here's what's happening behind the headlines. Days ago, 3 senators blatantly violated their oath and committed an unconstitutional act. It received virtually no news coverage. Notre Dame law professor Amy Coney Barrett was nominated to the 7th Appeals Court. At her confirmation hearing, California's Dianne Feinstein and Hawaii's Mazie Hirono discussed Barrett's Catholic faith. So did Illinois' Dick Durbin. Stop! That's a direct violation of the Constitution's Article 6. It states, no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Imagine the howls of protest if a senator questioned a nominee's Jewish faith or asked if she was a Muslim. The media would be in full panic mode. Liberal groups would demand resignations. Maybe they were using a claim from the George Soros-funded Alliance for Justice as a pretext to violate the Constitution. The far-left group claimed Barrett said judges should ignore the Constitution in favor of their religious beliefs. A completely false statement. Barrett said the exact opposite. In a law article, Barrett wrote that judges who oppose capital punishment for religious reasons should recuse themselves from hearing such cases. In spite of what Feinstein, Hirono, and Durbin may think, the Constitution matters. To comment, go to BehindTheHeadlines.net. I'm Mark Hyman.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
New tonight, the Golden State Warriors are not welcome to visit the White House. Take a look at this tweet from President Trump earlier today. It says, going to the White House is considered a great honor for a championship team. Steph Curry is hesitating, therefore the invitation is withdrawn. Yesterday, Curry said that he would vote no if the team were invited to the White House. Teammate Kevin Durant previously told ESPN that he would not go. Now, LeBron James also jumping into the fray with criticism against President Trump. In a tweet today, James called President Trump a, quote, bum. James going on to say, going to the White House was a great honor until you showed up. There were also retired Lakers star Kobe Bryant, who tweeted, the president's name creates division and anger. A library book overdue for more than 78 years is finally back home. Library workers in Attleboro, Massachusetts say the book, The Young Lady at Home by T.S. Arthur, was due November 21st of 1938. A man cleaning a friend's basement found the book along with the due date card, so he returned it. The librarians kindly dropped that late fee.
People did comment on it, saying things like, oh, it makes me feel less guilty about my overdue books.
Based on the library's current overdue policy, a 10-cent daily fine. The penalty for returning the book more than 78 years late would have been $2,800. Happening tomorrow, we've got your back with a fun event to help out animals in need. The cast of the reality show Sweet Home Oklahoma will be collecting donations for Country Roads Animal Rescue. It's happening at the Pet Supply Store, or the Pet Supplies Plus store rather, in Edmond off Danforth from 1 to 3 tomorrow. Starbucks has debuted a new flavor for fall, giving pumpkin spice a run for its money. It's called Maple Pecan Latte. The MPL is a mix of maple pecan syrup, espresso, and milk. It's topped with a sprinkle of orange and golden brown sugar crystals. Sounds pretty good about now.
Hey, it's going to be a little bit cooler heading into this week. Maybe we can get a hot Starbucks drink there to celebrate fall.
With a nice little sweater.
Yes,
oh, I can't wait.
I know, I'm so excited. Not going to happen tomorrow for the final day of the fair. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s with partly cloudy skies. Rain chances are much higher Monday and especially Tuesday. Look at those temperatures. We're in the 60s for highs. On Wednesday, get ready for some fall-like weather. Now here's Myron with sports.
Guys, it's football season, but the Thunder still the headlines today with another big move to bring another all-star to the team. There's nothing mellow about today's move. I've got the details next in the Sports Wrap. Hello, everybody. Normally, it's college football that tops all things sports this time of the year. Two top 25 teams facing off in Stillwater this afternoon. Oklahoma opening up its defense of back-to-back Big 12 titles on the road at Baylor. But today, not a normal September afternoon. Only the Oklahoma City Thunder could move out college football on a Saturday in September. You see, the Thunder are getting forward Carmelo Anthony from the New York Knicks in a trade. The 10-time All-Star is waiving his no-trade clause to come to OKC. Thunder sending Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and a 2018 second-round pick to the Knicks. The deal will be finalized Monday, and Anthony is expected to be with the Thunder when they open camp on Tuesday. Now, Enes Kanter found out today he was headed to New York, but he did not let it interfere with his commitments. He had a camp with a group of kids scheduled for today, and he went through with it as planned, and he didn't just go through the motions. He was engaged in entertaining with the youngsters. Earlier today, he had this message for Thunder fans.
Oklahoma and this organization, the whole state, will be always in my heart. And then the second, I want to say, please beat the Warriors for me. Please, I'll be watching that game, so please beat the Warriors for me.
On one more note, it was thought the Thunder had signed point guard Trey Burke to a non-guaranteed deal today, but he's changed his mind and will remain a free agent. Now to football, where 6th-ranked Oklahoma State hosted 16th-ranked TCU. Both teams 3-0 and playing their conference opener today. TCU was never won in Stillwater as a member of the Big 12 Conference. After the Horned Frogs kicked a couple field goals to take a 6-0 lead in the first quarter, OSU did what they've done all season long, get the ball to James Washington. He hauled in the pass, ran 86 yards to the end zone. But TCU had an answered running back in Darius Anderson, who took over the running load with Kyle Hicks out with injury. He scored 3 touchdowns in the game. This one put TCU up 27-10. Cowboys respond, though, with Mason Rudolph going to the air. Whiteouts only caught a couple touchdowns today for the Cowboys, but Rudolph squeezed this one to Dylan Stoner's hands to get the Cowboys within 10 points. They later got within 6, but they never could shut down Darius Anderson, who ripped off this 42-yard touchdown run. He had 160 yards. This one sealing it. That sent the fans to the exit as TCU won at 44-31.
TCU head coach Gary Patterson was all smiles following today's game after the Pokes handed him his worst home loss ever a year ago. He returned the favor, upsetting 6th-ranked Oklahoma State, snapping the Cowboys' 4-game win streak against the Horned Frogs here in Stillwater. Now, it didn't help OSU that it was without 2 of its veteran offensive linemen in Zach Crabtree and Larry Williams, who's now done for the year. But as head coach Mike Gundy said, it's really quite simple. His guys weren't disciplined and they didn't execute. And he said several times in his press conference that they got out-coached.
We're always disappointed if we lose, but I'm not disappointed in our team. We asked them to play hard Sunday through Friday. they've done that. The ball didn't bounce our way a few times. I thought they outcoached us. They made some plays at key times.
They played had a heck of a game plan and executed it well, and we, did late, too late.
Preparation, I thought was good. I thought we prepared well. I thought we practiced well. Just didn't react well, but very disappointed, trust me. I'm not sitting here saying, we gave good effort, we tried hard. No, I'm sick at my stomach.
I think this team's got so much potential and a lot of leadership on both sides that it's going to be, something we look back and say, hey, that was an adversity deal, and it helped build us and make us stronger.
I understand where everybody thinks, and because I'm friends with everybody too, so just talk to everybody, get everybody on the same page, and get this train going the right direction again.
So the Cowboys' hopes of an undefeated season has quickly come to an end, but now a lot of people want to talk about the college football playoff and if they're eliminated with tonight's defeat. But frankly, there's still so much more football left to be played, and as you and I both know, Myron, a lot can happen between now and December. Right now, the Cowboys must shift their attention to Texas Tech. They'll head to Lubbock, Texas 1 week from tonight for a date with the Red Raiders, and it's a game you can see only here on Fox 25. Reporting here from Stillwater, Sam Gannon, Fox 25 Sports.
All right, third-ranked Oklahoma on the road at Baylor, who hadn't won a game in non-conference action. OU scored early as you would expect, with Mark Andrews getting that one. Baker Mayfield connected with fullback Dimitri Flowers. They led 21-7 after one quarter, but a defense that appeared to be pretty good the first three games. Wasn't much resistance tonight as Baylor scored 21 unanswered points to take a field goal lead in the third quarter. But OU responds after Baker Mayfield was flagged for taunting a Baylor player. He connects on the very next play with Jeff Badette for a 48-yard TD strike. From there, freshman running back Trey Sermon took over by pounding the Baylor defense. He had 148 yards and 2 touchdowns on just 12 carries to go with Abdul Adams, had 164 yards running. Still some nervous moments, but the Sooners hang on to get the win, closer than expected, 49-41. There's your sports.